Okay.
I'm going to pull the whole thing down. I'm going to bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's going to be biblical.
Hey guys, welcome to Patriots Across the Pond with me, Elisa V, and of course my partner in crime here, Stu. We've got a great show for you today. We are welcoming Jordan Clark, and I just want to tell you a little bit for anybody who doesn't know the background about Jordan. I want to tell you a little bit about him. So Jordan is a 17-year health wellness coach, as well as a certified personal trainer, excuse me, through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. He currently owns his own supplement business, helping people with reaching their goals, looking and feeling their best. Last year, he founded the Crypto Collective, which is a large community for people to learn our new financial system that is here and to be able to get invested into the correct coins that will set them up for long-term financial success. In 2023, his life was changed in the blink of an eye when his heart began to fail. Jordan endured as long as he could until eventually he had to go to the ER. Once arriving to multiple ERs, he was sent home due to declining a COVID test, with only 12% of his heart working at the time. God not only intervened and saved his life, but gave him the opportunity now to have a platform to share his testimony and to expose the evil that has surrounded us for so long. He does nightly shows on his social media pages and is well known in the Patriot movement and the Q operation that has saved humanity over the last 8 years. And now we are going to start this podcast with a prayer led by Jordan, and then we're going to get into a lot of interesting subjects. Jordan, welcome.
Thank you. That was an awesome intro, and it's an honor to be here. So, yes, I will go ahead and lead us off in prayer. Cool. Heavenly Father, once again, I just continue to thank you for bringing us together. So many different souls, whether it's everyone watching right now in the chat or everyone watching down the road, and these two amazing folks here. Father, I thank you for the friendship and the community that you continue to build in supernatural ways. Father, specifically right now in this time, I just ask that you fill everyone with the Holy Spirit. Only the Spirit that you can provide, the Spirit that fills us up and gives us the navigation and the direction to prevent us from getting led astray by this enemy cabal system in this matrix that we live in. Father, I ask specifically right now, fill everyone from head to toe. Renew our hearts with your Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, come into this live, renew our minds, renew our hearts, renew everything about us, and just open us up to new knowledge and new information. And Father, healing, only the supernatural healing that you can provide. I ask that you give everyone the direction, the guidance, and the help that they need, whether it's a diagnosis, whether it's a mental disorder, whether it's a relationship. We're all battling something, Father, and we have to lean on you through faith and prayer and action. And we know that. So help us with your Holy Spirit by guiding us and making those decisions. And again, I thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for being a loving and forgiving God. Help us unite, love, and come together and put a final end to this battle and bring back your earth, your sovereign earth, in the Jubilee of 2026. It's in Yeshua's, Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jordan. Well done. Now, it's lovely to meet you. I haven't met you before, but I feel like I have met you. And I said this to Scott Stone as well, that I feel like I'd already met Scott, because we're all in the film Dear Mr. President. Scott is right before me and you are right after me. So out of anyone else in the film, I've seen you and Scott more than anyone.
So I knew nothing about that. I've never seen it. I remember, Lisa, you told me about it. Yeah. So I guess I'm in it. I made a quick video one day.
You've never seen the film?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, so wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was co-producer on that with Mel Carmine and Carol Maureen Friesen. And so I'll send you the link. It's basically just dearmrpresident.net. And at this time, that movie documentary has been translated into, I think it's total of 8 languages. So, everything, all the education we were trying to bring through just knowledge of what's really going on, as well as the testimony of so many, podcasters and truthers and what's happened to them in the journey of censorship. So yeah, you're in it. You're featured.
Well, I remember, Joe and Scott, they're like, hey, if you want to make a video, and I'm like driving, I'm like, okay. Cause you remember it's in my car.
Yes.
So I'll make, I was like, yeah, I'm going to tell, cause I was deplatformed like many, many times. Anyways. So that's awesome. I did not know that. So I'll be excited to watch that. So Tiff said she couldn't find the link. It's what was it again?
DearMrPresident.net. Let me find
and
it.
It's Dear Mr. like DEAR then MR President.net.
Cool. Well, awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of people that'd be interested to see that, including me. So that's awesome stuff. But yeah, no, Stu, I feel I'm excited. I was telling everyone, right now on our show, my show at least, for your audience, I do this nightly where I go over everything, and I usually have world politics, and it's insane to see what is happening in regards to the UK and Starmer and the 2030 agenda they're still trying to push, the New World Order, but it's amazing to see the peace that's coming. And I know you're over there in the UK, so I'm excited to see and hear this point of view of what is really going on. Man, I can't imagine.
Well, I believe, as you probably well know, that we are some way behind the United States in this whole global awakening operation. And we are currently in the pause period, and Keir Starmer is our Joe Biden.
Basically. Okay. That makes sense.
There's a lot of panic over here, black pilling. Well, no, what about this? But there was a massive push for digital ID, but because everyone stood up, or a lot of people stood up, they've retracted that. But the more happens over here, that people panic, the better it is, I believe, because you can't tell the people the truth. You must show them.
Yeah.
So
correct.
This is everything that happens is to ignite someone else to join the fight, find their passion, stand up, use their voice, and engage. All right.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the thing. You look at the what just happened with the peace board, and you look at the Kremlin, Putin coming on the peace board, and it's amazing because it's showing the world that it was never really what we were told. And you have these nations now, so many of them, who, like I've been mentioning, I think the peace board will take over the United Nations, and the United Nations just came out and said we can't afford to stay afloat anymore. Like when the funding got cut, like I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but they just pretty much said that they can't survive. So that's NATO. Everything's falling apart from the New World Order. And you still have these little bit of cancer cells like the UK. You still got the Europe and all these other areas like Cuba. obviously Ukraine, where I just feel there's so much. We've been lied to about everything that's been happening, like with Ukraine since 2020. And you're starting to see now, I guess, that capitulation tour in 17 really come into effect, where Trump went around and said, hey, we're going to come in with the swords. And we're going to cut these chains, and we're going to cut these ropes that have strangled not only America, but the world, and this criminal syndicate that is in every country. And it all comes down to the central banking. Central banks and control and power. And I just wonder, so in the UK, do you guys have a election? Like, do you have something coming up to get Starmer out, or where are you at with that?
Well, we had an election, and I think that was last year. So people have been calling for election, but obviously we're not due an election, I don't think, for 3 years. But the more people get on board and demand an election, or Starmer has to stand down, the more we're going to see that happen. Now, I don't know whether that means Farage is going to come back into the picture, someone else. But Farage has been doing a lot with Trump. He's been over there on a few rallies. He went over and interviewed Trump. I think he's a bigger part of this than a lot of people think. A lot of people think Reform are just conservatives with a different mask on their face. But it's just interesting to watch it all unfold.
It is. And I honestly, I can't see you guys going another 3 years with it. I think one, Trump, and so everybody knows Trump's my president, Jesus is my savior. But I think Trump, and obviously if you can't tell at this point, like, we've been in a military operation, and I've been connecting so many things with that, whether it's going back to you had Derek Johnson on, the executive orders, the National Emergency Act, all the things that were implemented in 2020 before Trump left office, continuity of government, all these leaders that have been working together behind the scenes for so long. It is so obvious right now that the hardest thing I struggle with is helping people understand that this stuff was already taken care of. Like, so much from 17. And if you go back to the Q board and actually connect the dots now, future proves the past. 17, and when the Q was talking to us and telling us what was happening, it was kind of in real time in certain situations. And like they said, what happened in Saudi Arabia will happen in Asia and EU and other places. Well, what happened in Saudi Arabia? Well, Ben Salman came in 17, completely purged Saudi Arabia of the cabal. And now look at them. They're opening their first stock market today. It's just like all these countries. Trump wasn't a dictator and went around and said, hey, I'm going to come in and control your country. No, I'm going to help you with the military that people don't see. And we're going to give you the opportunity to bring in your elect and have sovereignty again, because we've been controlled for so long under this old global criminal syndicate. And that, the UK, I don't think you guys are going to have to last 3 years, because I bet, with Trump, he's a business guy. He probably wants to do some trade deals. He probably wants to get things moving in the right direction over there. And I don't think it's going to be 3 years, but he will let things play out by the law and the Constitution. So we'll see.
Well, I think Keir Starmer, what he's doing, you could suggest it's the last gasp of the cabal to push through as much as they can. I don't see that at all. I believe they've all capitulated, these people. I believe he's been made to do what he's doing, while our sting operation and mop up goes on in the background. Because whether the white hats have got full control or partial control or not, or they're definitely steering the pieces on the chessboard, they haven't got control of every criminal. And I think they want to get all of them. That's what these 630,000 sealed indictments, that's potentially 60 million arrests.
Yeah,
and remember, like, what people don't understand is when he was doing the capitulation tour right now, first of all, we don't really know if the capitulation took place when they told us. It could, a lot of this could have been done before, right? So, but be that as it may, we can't actually know timing, but assume whenever it took place, you bankrupted these people. I mean, the power that enabled them to do what they did, whether it was through drugs, child trafficking, right? Cut it right off. And I'll give you a silly example, but as a person who used to go to Disney World all the time with my kids, right? I have like a love-hate relationship with that place, but you see a drastic difference. I mean, the money was flowing and 800 shows and, tons of people. It's pared down dramatically. And that's what happens when you don't have that money stream coming in, which was, a lot of nefarious stuff. So I think what we're seeing in the world is the result of cutting off the money.
Right.
We know in 2020 officially, right, he bankrupted the U.S. corporation. So right there, that ended another aspect of the cabal. So, but like Stu says, and it's been said a million times, people have to see this. They have to play it out in real time, and they have to portray it so that it can be metabolized by people where they don't feel that, someone's cut, like it's just another dictator. They have to see it by the rules and the laws that are constitutional. Go ahead.
Correct. No. You nailed it. I want people to remember this. Imagine this. Imagine the fine line of you have to keep a country operating in this matrix of the corporation civilly without leaking anything to cause chaos or disruption, having an issue where money's gone from banks and all of a sudden, like, this is so strategically planned out, but it's also a very fine line because Trump cannot afford to have any civil unrest, any kind of civil war, any kind of chaos and confusion amongst the people. That's why it's called the pause. The last 4 to 8 years, I just showed this on my show last night, the pause. In 2022, he said, called it the pause. And we're at war. We're at a spiritual war and a digital war. This is the digital battlefield. And last I knew, when you're at war, things are not pretty. Just because we don't have tanks and bullets, we're at war. And it really, it's amazing to think about, the operation, because one wrong turn and you could have a complete chaotic country. And that was the goal, obviously, of the 16-year plan with Obama for 8 years. And I made that Melania review that I told you went viral. And all I said was, I saw the movie, and all I said was, it made me realize that if in 16 this didn't happen, we wouldn't be here right now. I mean, they would have fulfilled their 16-year plan. They would have had their guillotine with their plastic coffins good to go, smart cities, one world government. Trust me, that was how long ago? A long time ago, 10 years.
10 years.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago. Imagine 10 years of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And her posse, whatever that would be after 8 years. They would have absolutely fulfilled everything, and we would not be here. They were going to take the population down to 500 million.
Mm-hmm.
And that just hit me so hard, because I don't care what you think of Trump. Anybody had to come in. Someone had to do it. And the military knew about it for a long time. Trump accepted the position and decided to go in. And I think the number, I think most important for our audience right now is this. In this present moment, I encourage everyone, this right here is your weapon. And I encourage you to dig deep into this, because God's word right now, and that renewal is going to, one, give you the peace, but also the protection. But this is a battle for the midterms. And I truly believe that you go back to 16, the military said, hey, we obviously want you to come in and fulfill this role. But there's 2 things we really want you to do in the next 8 years. Q said, remember when that post that said in 2019, think back 2 years, now fast forward 6 years.
Yeah.
And that was 2025 and start. Okay. And before that was 2016, 17. So Q said, we're at like kind of, 2025. It doesn't really go after this. It's just not another 4-year election. So here we are. But the midterms, man, nobody knows about the midterms. And what's crazy is, like I said, I think Trump had 2 objectives that he was given to accomplish in these 8 years. One, obviously, was the currency, with the big, currency exchange behind him down the escalator, to get rid of this Federal Reserve fiat system that has controlled the world through central banking and fractionalized banking and the endless printing machine, and has made us slaves. So that's happening. And I'm not here to get people stirred up, because we have the people that are like, oh, crypto is so demonic and crypto. Listen, let's just agree on one thing. We're not going to be slaves to the system anymore, because Trump's operating the country on a parallel system completely opposite of the one that we know of. So his system is the ERS and the tariffs along with the trade deals. And it's bringing in so much money. You got the gold card, and then you got the globalist, their system still operating, or trying to, with the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, which we know all that was taken out a long time ago.
Right.
But so I believe the currency was the number one thing, get people out of this system. And number two, most important, is give people power back by what? Our power is our voice and our vote. So I have had the opportunity to speak at an event with Doc Pete Chambers. Doc Pete was a part of, his crew was a part of investigating Smartmatic and Dominion. And I spent a weekend with them last year in Lubbock. I'll just tell you this, that there's a new system ready to go. It's very simple. It's called common sense. You show up in person and you have an ID and name the accounting, but show everyone the fraud of gosh knows how long this has been happening. And I will have that new, I know for a fact we'll have that new system by the midterms. Good. And then you think about, we can solidify, codify every executive order once we have full power through the Senate and the House, because he does not have full power right now. That's why we're having lawfare and stalemates. They're doing all they can. We have rhinos and people that are hidden on the Republican side. So we do not have full power, even though we have majority. But after the midterms, then we can put those executive orders into law. And then the cabal really is in a corner, because they know there's really no chance. But, you know, I think that's the two most important things. And as we have 7 months now till the midterms, guys, we haven't seen anything yet. Like this Minnesota fraud. Oh no.
It's all over. I mean, wait till they start going state by state, right? They started disclosing what's going on in Ohio, right? They started talking about what's going on in New York. I mean, the
California yesterday.
The depth is so. I wanted to just say one thing though, to your comment about how this had to be done in a way that didn't cause chaos and, you know, upheaval and people hurting themselves and each other and everything like that, and just pure panic. But it's interesting too, because when you think about Trump, he really has caused chaos, but in a very controlled way. He's up leveled everything. He's, you know, had to come out and to educate people about the news, right? Nobody thought about that. I mean, yes, if you were enlightened and awakened, you knew. You turned off your TV a long time ago. But I'm talking about most people.
I don't think anybody did that when in 2016 a president came out on Twitter and then started saying fake news. I think everyone was like, what in the world?
I mean, I stopped watching the news like after 9/11, but we as individuals, you know, all kind of, you know, awoken at different times and realized there was a lot of like nonsense. But as a population, no. Everybody, you know, thought, and then people had infighting. You know, I don't watch CNN, but I watch Fox. Well, they're all, you know, two wings of the same bird, right? So I think that he's caused a great deal of chaos and mixed things up, but he's done it in such a way to, you know, and you're a coach, right? So, you know, you have to get into the belief system, right? It's not just enough to preach someone what they should do. You have to have them believe and understand what they're doing and how it's going to be beneficial. And so he had to unwind all the belief systems and everything in the fear and empower people. Really, that's what he's been. He's been like a coach to the world, you know, on how to reframe what you're actually watching and looking at and living.
Yep. Nailed it. No, 100%. I mean, I say he has, you know, it's crazy because given, I mean, obviously it's incredible, but you think about it, all you're doing is just reversing everything that the enemy's done. And what I tell everybody is when you know, I don't want to get, like I told you earlier, I don't, once you get so far into like, you know, I've been in Q and you know, I'm not married. I've never been married. I don't have kids. So like my life was, I lost, my best friend was an elite Army Ranger. And in 2019, 4 months before he passed away, he sends me these links, and it was Follow the Cabal and Out of the Shadows. And at the time I'm like, what is this? Like, Jay, why are you sending this to me? And never thought anything of it. Then the pandemic came, and I was in my store, owning my supplement store franchise, and I had no customers coming in. So, and he passed away 4 months after sending those. And I'm like going through our stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'll click on the links. So God led me to, all of a sudden now I'm down these rabbit holes, sitting in my store 12 hours a day. And like, I look like a crazy lunatic. I have a customer come in, and I'll be like, dude, did you hear about like the children? Like, and this guy's, you know, I think I'm gonna go to GNC now. No, so like, you know, I just got into it, and obviously, you know, you mentioned my heart failure. So, you know, 2020, then I get hit with the heart failure situation. I wasn't able to keep up with my X22 report and all that stuff that I watched every single night. I don't know if you guys watch Dave or not.
Yeah.
On the X22 report.
That's the first thing I watch every day while I'm going through my Telegram on 1.5 speed, and then and then Josh Reed Daily Dose or whatever I've got to watch, you know, all day.
Did you say Daily Dose?
Yeah,
that's my show name.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
it was. But mine was Jordan's Daily Dose, no prescription required.
Perfect.
But I might change it. I'm thinking Jordan Unchained, and then that like breaking or linking truths.
Yeah, I actually said that earlier. I was just trying to catch up on one of your latest things. But that's a great name. That is breaking links.
So to give you guys an audience an idea, you guys don't even know this. So this all happened out of nowhere. I've been on social media for like 8 years. It's how I run my business. My sales come from social media. But I was shadow banned on Instagram at 127,000 followers for like 2 years. It wouldn't move. And so all of a sudden, when Trump got inaugurated, I remember Zuckerberg came on with his tail between his legs. And I was like, I'm going to make a video about Hillary and adrenochrome. And so I did. And I'm just like, I'm going to see what happens. And I had 127,000 followers. All of a sudden, in 30 days, I had 19.3 million views on my account in 30 days. And went to 290,000 followers in a month. So up 100,000. Something happened. This isn't boasting. This is like, you got to connect the dots. Same thing right now with TikTok. I just made a TikTok after having like how many? Because it's now American owned. It's an Oracle, but it's American owned. So the White House is on TikTok. Trump's on TikTok, blowing it up. I'm like, I'll try it out. Let's see what happens. I'm putting all my decodes on there. Like, people don't get it. They're like, okay, this guy's a lunatic. But unless I do a Melania review, then it goes viral. But, you know, it's just like, I look at this, and what I think is the censorship side of stuff. And I've talked to a lot of Anons. Obviously, we have a lot of friends in common. I think that maybe it wasn't so much of what you're discussing is a problem. It's you're too far ahead for the public. And we're not ready to drop that yet. So we need to shut you up.
Yeah.
Because if they're in control, right? Like, I mean, I'm sorry, guys, but if you still think
don't ruin the movie. Don't ruin the movie.
If you guys still think Obama's out there, Hillary's out there, if you still think they're out there walking this earth, you're absolutely... I don't judge. I'm not going to call you crazy because it's normal to think that, but there's no way when you know the evil that these people do
100%.
That in 17, they would just say, oh, let's just wait till 2024 and 2025 when we get into office. Hopefully they don't do anything and kill any more children.
Right.
No.
Just trust in it. No way. I completely agree.
They put Hillary in that bag in 9/11 2016.
What's that?
When they took Hillary out on the 9/11 Memorial Day 2016, when they put her in that black vehicle,
shoved her in the van,
legs away from underneath her, and her body double came out about 2 hours later.
Something hit me last night, and this is not like me. I'm not crazy, but something really hit me last night, and I'm connecting a lot of dots. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I believe Q is back, and they are the Department of War CTO account on X. If you follow all of my posts,
I
yes.
think Q has been posting in many places.
Well, I'm telling you, if you go to my account, go to the Department of War CTO, and everything they put out and that has a word on their big, beautiful pictures. I wish I could screen share and show you. Like I made videos.
Right? Can we have him screen share?
Yeah, I mean, they've been putting out Hold the Line and all these other sort of posts. You know,
check out the connections, though. So I broke these down, and like every one of them. Here, let's see if I can find my video. I made like a quick video on it.
Your screen's up.
I was on my screen. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And by the way, Jordan, just a little tidbit that I always say when we have to say, "Oh, we're not crazy," I say, "Maybe I am crazy, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong."
I love it.
I'll just say a couple of things to what you said, and then you can share that. I believe that Trump is a disruptor, but he's accelerated the division ultimately with an end goal of creating mass unity, where you've only got left that radical left and that 4 to 6% on either side that are never going to wake up. It's the ultimate goal is to bring everyone together. I believe the white hats censored us for 2 reasons. One, if they knew it was an 8, 9 year or 10-year plan publicly, we were putting out too much information, but it was also to show the normies of the censorship and how it works and how our voices were being shut down.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I've got one little question for you quickly, and then we'll go into your.
Yep.
Oh, you stopped sharing your screen, have you?
No. Well, is it gone?
Yeah. Yeah, I only just took it off the screen. You'll have to reshare it. But I just want to ask you this quickly. Many people say that obviously we think this Q operation has been unfolding for decades before it came out publicly, October the 29th, 2017. What do you think about, because Trump publicly, when he got in 2016, and there is talk that they had control of, other people before that in this operation to whatever, but Trump hit the ground running. Do you think, because a lot of people say that they would have never put that first Q drop out if it would have jeopardized this operation in any way? And we know there's misinformation, disinformation in the Q drops, and it was steered people in certain ways. But do you think that a lot of this was already wrapped up before that Q operation came out publicly, and we are seeing a massive mop up and sting operations going down since?
Yes. And on that note, I want to I told you guys I had something happen like last night. But also too, like, people need to understand that Q board, it's not for just us. Like, the enemy sees it. Right. The enemy, they talk to the enemy through it. But I'm pretty close with Juan 07. And like Juan says, this goes back to before JFK. It's just, we didn't have, can you imagine? I feel so bad for the people that have been so awake and all they had was landlines. Good Lord. Can you imagine? Imagine like, hey, you're at work and people think you're crazy. You have no way to spread information. The internet was the biggest thing that hurt the cabal. And in 17, it was funny because people think, Zuckerberg owns MySpace or Facebook. No, Facebook was LifeLog, then DARPA, or DARPA, then LifeLog, and then Facebook, all completely owned and bought by the cabal. But what's funny, if you recall right then on Facebook, we had MySpace. For those out there, we got to pick our music and our 8 best friends. That disappeared. You know why? Because it was American owned, and it disappeared overnight. And then Facebook came along. So all these things that the enemy had created to use against us that were going to be used for evil, I want the audience to understand, like BlackRock. Okay. I talk a lot about BlackRock because BlackRock is huge in crypto now. BlackRock is not the BlackRock of what we know it as. Okay. There's many things you can refer to. But it's the boomerang effect. So we take, for example, Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the trafficking coin. That's all coming out now. I've been talking about it forever. It was created back during early 2000s, and they were going to use it and have their one world currency and all this stuff. Well, guess what? It got overtaken, obviously. And then you had Ripple come along, XRP, and all of a sudden the SEC decides to sue Ripple in 2020. And we have a 5-year lawsuit for no reason. You guys know why. Right. Because it's creating new infrastructure. But now you're seeing the ties of Bitcoin, for example, to Epstein.
Yeah.
And, it's crazy. But everything that it's so hard to explain this because everyone has a legitimate reason to ask something contradicting. Well, then what about this? What about this? What about the chemtrails? Like Juan said, I've seen multiple sources with chemtrails too. Many have said it's good things being put back in the air, but also it's cover for military aircraft. So the military aircraft that should not be seen follows. I mean, those are pretty massive cloud things when you get close to them. So they follow that, they're pretty much laying a path for the aircraft to follow that you don't see it. So I've heard multiple things, but I will tell you this: Trump is not going to allow something to hurt humanity. He is not going to allow people to lose all their funds and money. I mean, think about how far we've come. And then this is what I always say. Oh, yeah. Shoot, I forgot. We're collapsing the old fiat slave system for, the Federal Reserve and stuff. We don't have a replacement. Can we borrow your currency? Somebody got a currency we can borrow? No, they didn't. This whole financial thing has been in the works for over 10 years. And it's going to be something that people don't even notice. It's already happening. Look at Venmo, look at Cash App, we're at the transact part where it says, do you want it now for a fee or do you want it in 3 days? And now they're putting crypto on it. Okay. See, that's the problem is people don't understand fractionalized banking. And I actually have a video of Epstein explaining it to everybody that I played yesterday. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
He's literally explaining to the world back then what the banks do and how for every $1 they create 9. And it's called fractionalized banking.
Fractional reserve, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. So, but no, real quick. So just, you guys will get this on my screen share if you can.
Let me just tell you one thing on that. People that say, oh, BlackRock this and BlackRock that. It was, I believe, if it did happen in 2020, when Trump merged the Fed into the Treasury, he put Larry Fink in charge of that, I believe. So I think.
Can I show you something?
Yeah, I'm just going to show your screen now.
Yep. Let me just show you guys some awesome stuff here. So to type in up here, Trump poised to take over Federal Reserve, and then type in CNBC. You guys see this right here? Trump poised to take over the Federal Reserve. Huge article on CNBC, right?
Yeah.
You guys see the date? 2018.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me 8 years later that come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Federal Reserve was shut down.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, I was going to say, to what your point before you brought this up, because it's all connected, is that if people don't understand that this is a military operation, it's very hard for them to grasp the inconsistencies, this doesn't make sense, and kind of question things. But remember, the White Hats didn't need to rebuild infrastructure. What they needed to do and what they did, which was very smart, is to take over and make those organizations that were once evil now serve. So BlackRock is an example. And, same with the everything else we can think of, whether it's the stock market or anything else, Bitcoin. And I think people just don't understand. Not most people understand it's a military operation and that the things that have been going on behind the scenes. So that's why it's so difficult to tell people, oh, the Federal Reserve, really doesn't exist anymore, so to speak, because they're still paying their taxes.
Yep. So think about this. think about, so let me show you, let me get through this stuff because this is going to blow y'all's mind. And I want to show everybody this. Stu, can you make it a little bit bigger? Is that possible?
No, you have to do it on your end.
I can't. I mean, you have to change the layout, I think. Like the, if you know, the bottom.
No,
I'm talking about like our layout. Can you change like just full screen for the, for a second?
Hang on.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so this right here, I'm not kidding y'all. So all I typed in was central banks. This is it's 5 posts long of every central bank around the world. Okay, so you see all these banks. This is what it's all about. I want to show that, but this right here is my favorite. So anyone out there, whenever I go out in public and whenever I explain this to people, and I can't zoom in on this, but you guys will know this post. I always show them this, and I ask them to explain this to me because does everyone remember last year when we had the Marines deployed? Where did they come from? Remember the worst place on the west? Huh?
Yeah, Mounted Division, wasn't it?
Well, remember it was over in California. So I'll just tell you guys. It was Camp Pendleton. So right here, this post, it says Redcon 3, class movement, Pelosi and Pence. Redcon 4, movement of military assets, 10th Mountain 1st Marine CPSD, Marine QVIR to central locations under the skies of citizen riot control. What do you think CPSD stands for? Camp Pendleton, San Diego.
Yeah.
Where'd they come from last year? Camp Pendleton, San Diego. Okay. Now, what's crazy is what just moved in from Alaska to Minnesota? The 10th Mountain 1st Division Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Right here. 10th Mountain. All under the skies of citizen riot control. I wonder what that's about. So then we go to Redcon 5, National Military Communications Center. Then we have Secretary of Defense instruct USSSS, United States Secret Service, Castle Rock. So how far are we? I mean, I think we're past all this. That'd be Hegseth instructing Secret Service, Castle Rock. But check this out. This is mind-boggling. So I don't know if you guys follow it's the Department of War CTO. It's not just the Department of War. But here's one video I made.
This one's wild, guys.
You guys see this post from them about the direct energy weapons and all that lately?
Yep.
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
So
check
the military, they've come out, they said, yeah, straight up, those things that you guys were talking about, that everyone said you're crazy for talking about, those things that went pew pew when started fires in like Maui and all over the place, all these storms. Yeah, the weather, the controlling the storms, called direct energy weapons. They're lasers, right? Okay, there's actually lots of forms of them. You got HARP, you got DARPA, all sorts of stuff, right? Okay, well, they straight up told you, not only do we have them, we're scaling them. So follow this page, the Department of War CTO, because check this out. I told you, I think that operation, I'm talking about, that operation 17.
So you saw the picture there. It said, yeah, they're real. We have them. We're actually scaling them. And then this came out the next day. It said, bang, and it's taking out a drone with a direct energy weapon. And then this came out. You guys probably saw these posts.
Like right on cue. So remember, the Department of War, they're dropping bombs. I'm telling you guys, this is right on cue. Serve your country, right? I'm thinking, man, hold on. Serve your country. Wait. 2 posts. One's from 4 years ago. One's from 6 years ago. But first one says, are you ready to serve your country again? Remember your oath. Here's the best part. Post 4509 in 2020, 6 years ago. You go through all this mind-blowing information, by the way. Go down to the bottom. What's that say? It's pretty much explaining to you how we're in an informational war on a digital battlefield. And it says at the bottom, game theory.
So hold on. It says game theory. What was that picture again? Did you guys catch the digitization, like almost a Nintendo, along with a Nintendo game? And then it says game theory on that same post, digital battlefield, right here.
Yeah,
that's that. Yeah. So anyway, there was one. I think there was one more that came out from the Department of War CTO, and you guys got to go follow this account. I'm going to pull it up so people can see it. Did you see Melania, Melissa, you said?
I didn't, because I got like a relapse and I didn't get out. So, I mean, I don't want to hold you guys back from talking. I hate spoilers, and I'm going to try to get there. But if there's something important that you need to talk about for the viewers, then absolutely say it.
Yeah, I went to see it on Friday.
Oh, I'm not saying anything.
Okay, because you could.
Oh, no. I was curious if you ended up finding time to go.
Yeah.
Well, darn it.
I know.
Stu, what'd you think, man?
Yeah,
Sorry,
I saw it on Friday, and there was a lot of comms in there. I've seen people decode it since Abs and Stormy and stuff, but I haven't been allowed to talk about it much because Elisa keeps getting ill and hasn't been to see it yet.
Oh, well, so anyways, real quick for your audience, not my audience, this is the Department of War CTO. It's obviously correlated with the Department of War, the government page, and they have it pinned at the top of their page, the direct energy weapon. So my question is this: we saw the direct energy weapon literally take out, and the best part about X, guys, is if you go to the media, you can just watch it, look at it all kind of like together, and it paints a picture. Oh, wow. So I did one on no half measures. So you had the bang down here. We decoded this one where we have the boat's called a Durham boat. And if you watch the X-22 report the other night, Stu, you'll know what I'm talking about. But they have these little drones up here, which they didn't have back then, with planes. And then John Durham's coming into the picture, and they're on a Durham boat back crossing the Delaware. But the bang thing, this whole direct energy weapon thing, I think they're trying to tell us something, because this came out after the bang one. And it says no half measures. Well, you can go type in measures on the keyboard. And what is this guy doing? He is controlling or doing something with technology like a drone. And it says American AI dominance. So I feel like it's almost like they're telling us something about some kind of, because we have here the digital game theory thing, serve your country. Are we going to get a cyber attack? Are we going to be using direct energy weapons to protect the country? I mean, just so many different angles on this. But what I had last night it's bothering me. I don't know how to bring this up. Let's see. So it's not, I can turn this off if you want. Stu, sorry.
What, you want that screen off? Yeah.
Yeah, for now. So what I was going to say, I want your opinion, because I haven't really brought this up. I made a post on it, but so we have been watching whatever the last 4 years is an auto pen. Okay. And you watch Stu, like in the movie, like I couldn't even watch that guy Biden walk. Like it's obviously a robot, some kind of AI bot, whatever. And when we have so much going on, and I think AI is amazing as a tool. It's helped me so much in the last month or two, but I don't let it change me. I don't obviously like bots. Did you guys see that thing where now those bots have their own community and they don't allow humans in?
No.
Yeah, there's some
No, I haven't seen
it's called Clawbot, and they're like talking in there, and like one bot the other day said, yeah, a human screenshotted us, like they act like we don't know. And like it's all bots in a community.
Oh my God.
Anyways. See, I don't want to talk about it because it scares people, but what I was saying is we're watching a movie. Nothing is as what it seems. Future proves the past. The truth will not be for everybody. I'm adding up all these things from the cue board, right? That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Pretty deep. Okay. I mean, maybe it's the children, but a lot of people are going to be able to take that in. It won't be easy for a while. But what if our entire life, all of it, has been CGI, AI, and never was real, as in government and politics? What if because here's the deal, like, look what's being shown to you AI can do all of a sudden.
Yeah.
No, you cannot tell the difference. They're making movies like that using AI. So we're seeing all this technology with AI, a lot of focus on it. And we find out the last 4 years has been nothing but a CGI AI performance, or a clone, whatever you want, a clone But what's really real? Because I always tell everyone in my shows, take away your screens. Take away your screens. You fear the IRS because you heard things. But when you know your rights and you know God's law, you should not fear the IRS. The IRS puts the fear of God into you because of stuff through propaganda. So we have propaganda machines. But think about it. Like, if they did that in the last 4 years, couldn't they do that with Obama? Couldn't they do that with Bush?
Yes.
Because they're always 30 years ahead.
Yeah.
So they have technology 30 years ahead. Who knows if Hollywood's even real, as in the movie aspect of it? What if it's just AI?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
well, then we have, of course, there's people out there that, oh, I know somebody, I know this. I get it. But, you know, like I always said, and sorry to interrupt you, Stu, but I wish I could just have like a group of people in every part of the country to where when events happen, they're there within an hour to, yeah. I mean, you're going to tell me like no one's seen a politician, a famous politician or Obama walk in and didn't, hey, look, selfie ever in the last, how many years? Come on.
Right.
Hillary.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's that you're right. Like if people find out about the children, you're right. It's awful. It's terrible. For a while, it's very painful, but they can deal with it. This is a totally it just is like a shock to the system to think that. You know what? Before I forget, I just want to say something else. We've been talking about TikTok, right? It's very interesting that it's called TikTok, first of all, right? TikTok. Secondly, have you really looked at the logo? It looks like a DT.
What?
It looks like a DT, Donald Trump. So just a little, it wasn't owned by us. It is owned, is that a PSYOP too? And it was
well,
that.
So I guess what I want to say to explain what I was saying is, okay, I had it. It's so hard. I had it right there. What if the cabal criminal syndicate used, remember, this is, like you said, 13 families.
Right.
It's very small. It's smaller than you can imagine. Right? Okay, but smaller than we can imagine. What if it's just the families that propagandize things, created televisions, created technology, use that as propaganda, and created the people in it for whatever the president sees along the way. And sure, you can say they had clones, whatever. I mean, so maybe they have an event or two, but if you notice, why doesn't Trump ever, the real Trump is in Mar-a-Lago playing golf. Why? Because you can tell because he has a polo on. Well, why does that matter? Because have you ever seen any politician with anything below right here where a mask would go down to here? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you think about it, there's never a moment where they don't have a collar and tie on and stuff with their suits. But what if, like, that's what I mean. If we're watching a movie now, what if the white hats, the good guys, the 200 generals in the background created a movie script to wake up humanity, but use the same tactics and the same platforms that the left cabal had used for so long, in which it was created with AI and CGI and green screen.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, am I saying that they're not real? I don't know. This is where it gets really confusing, and it's important to talk about because what is real?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in an interview about a year or two ago, Elon was talking about virtual reality, and he said this technology is getting so good that soon, and goes into all this AI, you're not going to be able to tell reality, what is false from reality, what is real to virtual reality. I said, oh, yeah. And then he said, well, how do we know that hasn't already happened a long, long time ago?
Exactly. That's my point. As someone, and again, I don't expect anyone. Here's my problem. I guess I've got myself in a little too deep because, I do all these shows every day. Well, no, I'm stuck. So every day I wake up, I'm literally consumed because I got to find the most accurate, information, and on X and all that. So I'm literally in the process of my businesses and stuff, always finding, scrolling, and it's a lot mentally. But I'm just thinking, like, I see a lot more than most people because I'm digging a lot more to give facts and information on the daily updates. But it's hitting me. It's almost like this movie, because it's so scripted. It's so obvious. Like, you can almost predict what's coming right now. It's a very easy, slow leak of information until the midterms. That's where the battle for the midterms right now. And you get people excited, but the enemy is going to continue to attack. And I do want to discuss that time frame before we're done right now. Not right now, but before we end on the next 7 months, because it's going to be the wildest 7 months of your life. And so much good, but there's going to be so much evil.
Yeah.
What you're saying there, we've been saying this for like a month or two, Elisa and I, and this next 5, 6, 7 months, whether it's in the run up to July the 4th and these 250-year celebrations, not, I believe we're going to have so much information come out, and this might even come into so much election fraud that JF on the Savvy Reflex were talking to us, and they basically said that we might even see Trump step down and say, well, I don't even know if I'm the president. This will bring a lot more people on board, have fair elections, and whether they're going to do that on paper ballots or some sort of blockchain, and it will be sort of everyone will know. It will be an absolute landslide, whatever happens, I believe.
I can't see Trump stepping down. Just personal opinion. That would cause way too much MAGA.
A near-death experience, maybe?
No, I think, he's come this far and the people want him. I mean, the guy is not. Stu, you've seen the movie. I mean,
yeah,
I understand but he's not going to step away, or unless they absolutely kill him. I mean, obviously he came back from one.
We're saying it's part of the script. Could it be?
What I mean is,
right. Go ahead, Stu. I'm sorry. Like, we're saying it's not really he would do that.
So much election fraud will be revealed that Trump could potentially say, I'm going to let the military take control of this. I'm going to move out the way just for a period of time, and we are going to find out the truth. And the military will take over, go everyone, the fraud everywhere, and then we'll have a new elections. And obviously Trump will never step away. He will always be there in the back, because they will know that once this so much fraudulence is proved, and what they've done to Trump since he came down that escalator, that everyone, potentially, apart from that, 4 to 6%, will be on board. We'll have fair election. Trump will come back in with a landslide that who never really stepped away. And, that's just one potential.
Yeah. So as I told you, and again, like, it's weird. I mean, I said with all respect, I just don't know where people are at in the UK with compared to what we have. Obviously, Stu, you're a completely different animal. So, yeah, you're on your game. But what I was saying is I've talked to Doc Pete Chambers. He just came on my show the other day, and he's running for governor of Texas. And there is a new system. I mean, that's all I can say. It's ready to go, but so the way I see this playing, here's what's going to happen. People need to understand that their goal in 2024, the overall goal was to have Michelle Obama come in. Mm-hmm. And Biden messed it up. They had to deal with Kamala. So eventually they said, okay, I'm referring to them as the deep state, Obama in the basement. They said, okay, just let Kamala go embarrass herself, go that we're going to plan for the 2026 midterms. Okay. So we're going to throw everything at Trump. We're going to throw everything we can with chaos, what we have left. And then Trump cut all the funding for these organizations. Obviously, the Antifa, the paid activists, they're running dry. So the deep state now, you're going to see a pullback. They're going to start agreeing. Now, this is where deception comes in and deceiving, because now they're going to take all their focus and save the ammo, save the people, save the money, and go to the internet. We got time. We got 7 months. So we're going to go and deceive people online. We're going to create bots. We're going to create all these fake accounts, and we're going to make people question everything they've done right. Like right now, I have people questioning all their investments, all because of some clickbait fear. And I'm like, the crypto and the gold and the silver, it's all going to go right back up. What happened last weekend was an illegal situation that happened deep inside, where you had the end of the month and people had to cover their butt. And I'm talking about corrupt people. So they went in and took their investments out for liquidity and tried to cover their shorts, their contracts with liquidity. And there's a lot of fear because we have Trump announcing a new potential Fed chairman. So that's why all that happened. Okay. But that's all going to change. So don't panic. If you're on the metals and all that stuff, it's going to go, like I said, silver, $300 by July, easy. Yeah. But anyways, so going back, Trump is announcing all these things for a reason. Highest tax return season, guys, be excited. Dividend check coming here halfway through the year. Yep. Just a little celebration, 4th of July dividend, $2,000 for the citizens. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to drip information about 2020, which she said we'd have pretty much all of it by February. So here we are. And that's going to include a lot of J6. So the actual overthrow of the United States government happened on 2020, right? When they overthrew the government by what they did to a duly elected president, that is the worst thing ever to happen to this country. The insurrection happened on January 6th when they tried to cover it up. And you know, Stu, what I'm talking about. Dave explains this. So the insurrection was their way of covering it up and trying to take all the eyes off of their cheating and overthrow, right? And that's why Trump said by the Insurrection Act, he has to tell the enemy or the combatant to go in peace, return home. Okay, if you don't listen, I did what I'm supposed to do. Now I get to invoke that. So when he was up there in front of the glass telling everybody, go home in peace, he wasn't talking to us. He's talking to them, the enemy.
Because he also did the speech from the Rose Garden as well after, didn't he? He did the exact proclamation for the Insurrection Act, go home in peace and stuff. And that 1 minute video was taken down everywhere. And I think the next day, most of us got shut down on Twitter anyway.
Yeah.
So I believe the Insurrection Act, and as many people do, Anons, it has been in effect for a very long time. Yeah. To the public, to the Matrix normies, that is not going to come out over Minnesota, over California. What I believe is going to happen, and Sue, you've heard this with Dave, is, and again, I weigh out measures and everything, but it makes sense. You have a situation now where Trump's implementing a system where people have to go in person. Everybody.
Yes.
Okay. So you save your foot soldiers to show up and put the fear of God into those people and make sure they don't enter those places. That's what the left, I'm assuming, is planning for. They're going to hold off and use their organ, make sure that not everyone's arrested and taken in. And they got some foot soldiers left when it comes to November, and prevent anyone from going in and voting and put the fear of God through their mainstream media propaganda. That's why Trump has the military here. And I believe in the next 7 months, as we continue to get more fraud, we're going to see more military slowly be dispersed, because it's a very civil thing, right? Like, how do you bring the military onto U.S. soil? Well, that parade was a good idea. Yeah, that was pretty genius. I mean, you see how, and then disperse them into the blue cities, the blue states, where they need to be. But I believe as we get towards October, that is when they're going to ramp up the violence in these election places, wherever there are voting centers are. And Trump knows that. He's prepared for that. And I think that's when eventually he's going to put the Insurrection Act to the normies, say, all right, this is, chaos. And the military needs to step in and work with the National Guard to protect our voting centers. People need to go vote, and we'll handle this accordingly. Yeah. So that's just my opinion. I don't.
I think that sounds spot on.
Yeah, I mean, you said, didn't you, that you think with the financial system, a lot of people are not going to know anything about it. It will be sort of like an almost smooth transition. But do you think we still got a scare event to come? Do you think that might be anything to do with the banks? Because we do say that to wake these last people up, you talk to people about the child trafficking and they look the other way. You talk to people about elections and they're not bothered.
Yeah.
When it hits them in the pocket, and I mean, I don't think people are going to lose their money, but potentially they might think they've lost their money for a short period of time, whether that's a 3-day shutdown of the banks, 10 days of darkness, whether we are going to see something like that. What do you think about that?
Agreed. I think there will be an event. I think it's going to be that's okay. I think what you're talking about, remember, so JP Morgan is mentioned 2,500 times in the Epstein files. And then Jamie Dimon alone is mentioned 200 plus times. And Trump is now suing. Who is Trump suing recently? JP Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For debanking him. So you got that going on. And now I think JP Morgan is going to bring the collapse of many things, this whole situation, because of the ties to Epstein. It's going to wake a lot of people up. I think that whole situation, I think people are going to wake up in general, because I mean, you had the first bank fail in Chicago, like fail, what, Friday?
Yeah.
First failed bank is a Chicago very small bank. And that's going to happen a lot more eventually. And I'm not saying anytime right now here in the near future, but these banks can't stay open, man. Like there was never any money there. There was never any value. I tell everybody, your signature is the reason they can create a loan. Without your signature, there's no vault. Like they're pretty vault doors open, right? You know, like during the day, there's no money. The money is given by the Federal Reserve to the Treasury, obviously. And if they get your signature, it's like a big party because they just take it and they $1, they make 9 more. So I've told everyone they're tenfolding you. If you go and sign a $10,000, $10,000 agreement for a credit card, you're so excited, but man, the bank, man, they're getting tenfold on that. They're getting fees and interest from you. They're getting a tax return write-off with it. And it's all connected, right? The cabal, you're just the one that has to go and they get to determine your wealth and your, what you're worth and based off your credit score scam and all this stuff. And, okay, we'll give you 10,000 when really you should have access to all your birth certificate, Social Security, all that stuff that we used you for since you were born. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, but it's just, I don't think a scary event would come in that way because you would have mass chaos and possibly a lot of corruption. I think we're still on the 2030 agenda, which is a world war scenario. And they're still pushing it. As you've seen, I don't know if y'all heard with Iran, there was an attack on Iran's nuclear facility. And if that would have been hit the correct way, it would have been bigger than Chernobyl. But Putin came out many times in the last 3 or 4 days and said, hey, just letting y'all know right now, like, I'm not attacking Iran, nor did I. Nothing to do with it. And then yesterday he came out and said he will not be participating with the U.S. and Trump's deal with, Iran working a deal out. So who's doing it? The invisible enemy.
Yeah.
The deep state. And they're trying to start a World War III because they were going to do that, hopefully hit that maybe, and then say, oh, it's Russia. It's the Kremlin. And now like that whole scenario is down the drain because Putin's out there telling the world that that's a bunch of, blood-sucking vampires that are demonic and they worship Baal. And I think Putin is like one of the only countries that doesn't have a central bank.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and
Wow.
any of the other banks that refused it, look what they did to them.
Gaddafi?
They invaded and they took Gaddafi, and that was where we went into war.
JFK, Abe Lincoln. I mean, you got to go back to 1913, guys. Tariffs made this country so rich. Tariffs made this country so. We had so much gold. We've had the gold. They just lied to you. Said we didn't have the gold. That's why Trump's trying to tell everybody, look at my gold Oval Office. I mean, we have the gold. They've manipulated the numbers. Same with the silver. Juan O'Savin was talking about it. He told me on the phone in a private conversation last year. I don't know if you knew, but Juan owns like one of the largest silver mining. He's a part owner in one of them here in America.
No.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah. So anyways, Juan told me a lot of things, and again, I weigh everything out. I don't take everything for, who knows who's good and, who's really on different sides of things, but Juan's always been a good source. And, it's just how far this goes back, and it's hard to fathom, especially like I'm 37 and I really woke up to the whole, straw man thing like last year. So I do want to share my testimony. That's probably most important.
Yeah.
But after I read the whole Bible last year with a friend, and afterwards God said, well, you should check out these books about like straw man and, you're being used and all this. So I started really digging into that. And then I was like, holy cow, like we got a problem. Yeah. And then all of a sudden now here we are. But I think that for taxes and to give people some hope, I think this is the last year we'll have to deal with any kind of taxes. If you're getting a return, take advantage of it. I think the most incredible thing that Trump's ever done, or any human's ever done, is the Trump accounts. I don't know if you guys have seen that. The Trump accounts. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, unbelievable. So yeah, I mean, any child that's born from 2025, they automatically, they they have an account on the stock market, and money goes in, but like no one's responsible for it. So you already have these big companies investing in these accounts, but if they don't put any, like parents don't put any money in until they're 18. When they're 18, they can take the money out to go into the world. They will have at least $5,500 in their pocket with doing nothing. Mm-hmm. Now, if they put money, there's like certain things it was showing, a certain amount, and between, 1 and 18, the amount of money is insane. Like there's $500,000 in some cases that kids can have. Wow. So you think about what did we were stamped. We didn't even get to touch God's soil, earth, before they stamped us, our feet.
Literally stamped us, right?
You didn't even get to hit the soil.
And it's so funny, right? Because I'm a mom. I gave birth. I was in the hospital. Like I would do everything so different now, like my whole world has completely inverted back to where it should be. But you think like, it's about identity and, my child, we have a birth certificate, like the way our brains were trained to not even question and just go along with the fraudulent nonsense of all of this. And even hospital, like, why do we, I have friends now that are having home births, but they put the fear of God into you, like, oh, you can't do that. That's too dangerous. Well, why is it dangerous if you have a midwife or what if the child has to, and they make people just, everything's out of fear, right? Just like they do with not to go on a rabbit hole with this, but even what they do with tests, right? When you're pregnant, you have to do this test, you have to do that test. Why? So in any case, back to what you were saying about this whole straw man, I started to I started to be educated on this maybe like within the last 5 years. And then you go, I don't know if you did, but you go through an enraged period of, finding all this out. And to the point that I would actually, I told Stu, if I would get on the phone with my mortgage company, like, oh, you're late, whatever the case. And I would be like, to the poor person on the other hand, I'm like, you do know that mortgages are completely illegal and fraudulent. And this poor girl, I'm like, I said, is this call being taped? She's like, yes. I'm like, good, because but you're so big deal. So I'm screaming and yelling. It's not really changing anything. The system has to implode on its own, and we can hope. But it's very funny what Trump did with these Trump accounts, because he's using the same system that they used, except for the good.
Right. Exactly. So it's the opposite. That's what everything is, guys. Yeah. It's very simple. It's not Trump's a smart man, but this isn't rocket science. And speaking of rocket science, did you guys know today we're sending 5 people to the moon?
No.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, you should have seen the AI video or picture of them like yesterday. Like it was a legit thing. That's why I brought up this last night. I'm like, what? In 54 years, we're going back to the moon today.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy stuff, eh? I just want to ask you a
What?
question.
Hey, so hold on. I really got to go to the restroom. But
Go ahead.
with my heart, I'm on diuretics.
Yeah.
So you can
that's
match.
okay.
We're
But
just a little older than you, so we're not on diuretics, but we have, just because we're old, so we completely understand.
my heart, I got to take a lot of Lasix.
Yeah, that's all right. Well,
We'll carry them. Yeah, we'll hold
I want to come back and I think we should end with.
Well, I would like to hear your story, because we were going to start with that, and you haven't really been into that yet. I want to ask you one question before you go to the toilet.
Let him go.
That you could think about in the toilet. Do you think all this money coming in is just coming in from Trump's tariffs, or do you think potentially a lot of money is coming in from the confiscation of cabal funds through Trump's executive orders as well?
Both. Yes. I think it's coming from every angle. Look what Putin just did. He gave us $1 billion in returned assets. So remember in 17, people need to understand in 17, it was articles everywhere that assets from foreign assets, large, beautiful ships and things that the cabal deep state bought with their stolen, fraudulent tax-paying dollars, was taken back. And all this happened. And so then all of a sudden, not only does Putin say, yeah, I'll join the Board of Peace, but I'm gonna give $1 billion of money back that I got in returned assets from who? The deep state. But look what's happening in Panama right now. Did you guys see that? I mean, there's so many important things right now. The Panama Canal was ran by China. Okay. Well, that just got cut off yesterday. Denmark is running the Panama Canal right now for our shipping, right? Well, why is that a big deal? Because the globalists, remember, China was going to be the hub of everything. What was going to be the command center for the New World Order. So that's why the Green New Scam, they push solar over there. They're pushing solar. They're pushing everything still. China was taking over the trade routes. This is why it's so important that people understand this. But due to Greenland and what's happened with Trump's deals, Denmark is controlling the Panama Canal, which means the money will be coming to the Americans and the people of Greenland will get the money, not the globalist New World Order, China, CCP cabal. Huge, right? Okay, how about Cuba? 4 days ago, Trump said, no deals with Cuba. Any country that tries to buy oil, do any trade with Cuba, you will get tariffed 100%. Do you guys see the importance, and I'm referring to everybody, the importance of tariffs? It's peace through strength. I'm not going to come at you with our incredible military because that would wipe you off the planet in 5 seconds. Right. I'm just going to come at you with tariffs as leverage because most people don't like to get fined. So if you want to work with the cabal that's running Cuba that I'm trying to eliminate, I will tariff you. Well, it's amazing how that works. Now the cabal's over here like, help, we don't have money anymore, Cho. No one's buying from us. That's what happened everywhere, guys. It's so easy to see. It's beautiful to see. But if America fell, everyone falls.
Yeah. That's very interesting because we had Sheila Home on and she was talking about that. Oh, you go. I'm going to play a 3-minute, 40-second video. General Flynn's This Is Warfare. I'll put some cue drops over the top of it so you can watch that back later.
All right. These are awesome. Thank you.
See you in a couple of minutes.
We are in a war most people don't even see. It's not just bombs or bullets. It's information, technology, and control over what you believe. Every day, powerful forces shape the news you read and the thoughts you hold. This is 5th generation warfare. And whether you know it or not, you are already on the battlefield. The choice is yours. Remain unaware or recognize the fight and take a stand.
Running through the dark, nowhere left to hide. Battle lines are drawn, taste the smoke and fire.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's go ahead and where's
Tell
my
us your story.
toilet? My story?
Yeah. Tell us your story. How
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, you guys have heard my story before, right? Like on my other shows.
Yeah, bits and pieces. Yeah, I'm just your awakening, because obviously you suffer some heart failure.
It's very hard to do.
You went through finding God.
It's very hard to do shortly, so I'm going to try. So because like I told you, Melissa, I definitely
We've got as long as you've got, Jordan.
Yeah, no, I know. I have another show. I have a 1 o'clock as well.
Yeah,
and then I have a huge call tonight with our amazing. I'll have to show everyone the Crypto Collective, and I'll get you guys hooked up. You know, anytime someone allows me to share my testimony and stuff, I give them access to the community. It's normally 17 a month, if you know what I'm referring to, Q.
we do.
But the value, like I'll put it this way, like I could charge 100 a month, but I never will change it because I feel God led me to create it at 17. And I'm not here to take people's money. I'm just here to have everyone have, you'll see, I'll show it to you. It's awesome. It's an amazing community. But so anyways, the most important thing right now that we're all battling is health. Gosh, Maha is amazing, right? Like what RFK is doing is insane. I'm so ecstatic to see the food pyramid flipped. I mean, these are literally things I had to argue with cardiologists about, being a 17-year health coach and I don't have I got my certification, but I don't have a doctorate. I a piece of paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but it comes with a lifetime of commitment. Like I'm a health coach too, but we were coaches before we were coaches. You know what I'm saying? Before we had that piece of paper, because we believed in all this stuff and we understood and we did research. So,
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll tell you why I got mine. And it's crazy. I'll tell you, like, sorry to interrupt you, but
that's okay. Go ahead.
I'm a certified trainer. I've never trained anybody. So that's usually how it goes with certifications, but it was important to me. So the gym is kind of what I would love to, but people don't realize that like training, like personal training, like gyms take 50% of your commissions. You make no money. So I would rather not be a salesy person in a gym being restricted to a certain amount of time and having to do it their way. So obviously I still, as I told you, have you heard of Complete Nutrition by chance?
No, I'm not sure.
No, except for I think on your site, I've
So we had 350 stores nationwide, like sold GNCs to Open Complete Nutrition back in 2004. And anyways, I owned a franchise in Sarasota, Florida. And then I ran stores all over Texas and the Midwest for 9 years for another guy, obviously another franchisee. So I've kind of been around the block and stuff, and I have my own brand. I created my own supplement line, pre-workout, and I've seen the behind the scenes of this industry. I love what I do. I started supplements back in high school, as in falling in love with that process as buying my first supplement. And I was a high school quarterback, so I wanted to look good at my senior year. And I just fell in love with supplementation and health. And I've been doing that ever since. So I tell everybody, I'm bringing this up because I have heart failure at 33 years old. I have not had fast food in 15 years. I couldn't tell you what a drive-through looks like. Like literally I haven't had fast food in 15 years. I have not drank a sip of alcohol in 6 years. I don't do drugs. And those are the three things that cause heart failure and heart disease, which if people don't know, heart disease is the #1 killer in our country. More people die from heart disease than all cancers combined every year. Why don't we talk about it? Because there's no money. It's invisible, right? And now, especially after what happened in 2020, myocarditis, everything that's happening to younger generation, 18-year-olds collapsing from heart attacks from the jab. First of all, the question I always get, did you get it? Did you get the jab? No, I didn't even let them do a test. So when you, and Stu will know, like watching my reports, Q saved my life. Q saved my life. God originally, obviously, it is my savior and saved my life. But watching those reports, deep diving every night, I don't know what it is. Stu will tell you, and maybe even you, Elisa.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go home after my store closed on the weekends and watch my X-22 report. I had to. Like 45 minutes. I had to do it. It gave me so much restoration and hope in a moment where people were so confused and it was dark and the lying, seeing, all the deaths and all that. And to this day, it's the same thing. I just don't have the time as much anymore, but I watch them every night as much as I can. And I think, honestly, Stu, I think Dave is a part of the operation. And like, you don't have 900,000 followers on Rumble.
Yeah.
And make those videos, like, no offense, but it's not like amazing content. And I don't know about y'all, but Rumble is almost impossible to grow on. Like, I can't budge 2,000 followers. So, and I stream there every night. And so anyways, let's go back. How did this happen? How did this happen to a 33-year-old who obviously is a workout fanatic and doesn't do drugs, doesn't drink, and is very healthy? Usually most people that have heart disease are around 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, heart failure, etc. So remember, I'm not going to go back to all those things I went through, but it's very important to acknowledge the things that we're all battling are taking a toll. So I always start out and tell everybody, I have always believed in God, right? Like, I've had the scriptures on my arms, the tattoos. I've known some verses, but I never had a relationship with God. I never read his full word and in the Bible. So I always tell everyone, how can you have a relationship with someone without full communication? And that takes time. Like, I'm not judging anyone if you haven't read the Bible, that's your walk. But I encourage you to maybe start. I've already read 11 books since January 1st in the New Testament. That was my resolution. So I encourage you because it will change your life. And some of them are like 15 minutes and you can get through an entire book. But going back to 2017, my sister passed away, and at the age of 24. So that was a blow, obviously a very hard thing to deal with. And I told you from 17 to 22, I did not have a single word, conversation, text, nothing with anyone in my family. Couldn't have told you if anyone was alive during the pandemic. I don't know. Again, there were some things that happened, and my parents were in another state and divorced. And I was in Florida. So went through a lot. So after my sister died, I'm in my store and met this girl, fell in love, thought she was the one. A year and a half, she's running my store. We're doing phenomenal. And one day she ups and leaves, like, packs her little Toyota, and I literally never heard or saw her again. And I tried to take my life 3 times, and it didn't work. So the third time I was like, okay, this isn't what God wants me to do. Obviously, it's not my time. But it was a very hard thing to go through while you're trying to run $1 million supplement store, and the backbone, your relationship, the person that you love so much and was about to propose to, like, months down the road, just disappears. And to this day, I've never heard from her. But I wish her very well if she watches this. So that happened. And obviously that was in 19, and 2020 rolls around, and I'm in my store and we get hit with a pandemic. And I go from 30 customers a day to 1. My overhead, my break even was $30,000 a month in my store. So I'm sitting here like, oh gosh, every day, you can imagine, working this thing open to close. Like, primetime retail, my rent was $7,100 a month for 1,100 square feet. And I'm the only store open. And I'm talking the nice shopping centers. I have Best Buy, Chipotle, Hair Cuttery. I mean, all these big, Ulta, Bed Bath and Beyond, all lined up next to me and around the corner. None of them are open. It's just me, and my little store's open facing the busiest street in Sarasota. And I remember I kept my door open, my truck out front, and my open sign on, and people were like, hey, can I come in without a mask? Absolutely. Come on in. So I was going against the grain. And then my accountant called and he said, hey, with that Trump policy, you can leave without, like they can't do anything. And I'm like, oh, you're right. The no eviction thing. Remember Trump had something where they couldn't come after you if you left. So I was like, holy cow, I can leave. I had like 2 years left on this lease. And so I sat there and I kind of thought, what do I want to do? And I had some good friends in Utah that I considered friends, and this company that owned, it was called Surge. It was my number one brand out of all my brands. And they were smaller. And I'm like, I want to get out of retail and selling 30 brands and just have one and just work as a team, right? So, and I can have a fresh start. I can Utah. Did something happen?
No.
Y'all there?
Yeah, we were. Can you say
yes?
Oh, there you go.
We're here.
Oh, it was like loading. So anyways, I told my accountant, I said, hey, I'm going to have a sale, which I was having like a liquidation sale without making it obvious to my landlords. And I'm going to invest in this company, Surge. I have good friends. They've been here. And long story short, I mean, I put in almost $80,000, just the investment part of it, to help this brand grow. And we worked everything out. I moved my entire life, shut down my store to Utah, and I get there and I'm in the mountains getting set up in my apartment and they don't even have an office. So I get there and pretty much they're like, oh yeah, we don't need you, man. I'm like, huh? Oh no, you're just an investor, man. So I'm like, what? I'm not just an investor. Like I work. So I literally, like, can you imagine moving your entire life and there's no office? Nothing. And I get there. And so I'm stuck in this apartment in the middle of Draper, Utah. And I don't know what to do. I just gave like my savings. And I'm bringing this up because who am I blaming the whole time? God. So it got so dark. All I knew to do, guys, was I got to make money. And I just set up a complete nutrition inside my apartment. Got racks, got supplements. My vendors were still nice enough to sell it to me, even though I wasn't a legit location. It was a pandemic. So I had an amazing following of 13 years of customers that bought over the phone. And the depression and the anxiety was so high. I mean, if you can imagine, I had a year lease. I'm stuck in this place. And I just lost my sister. I just lost this girl I loved so much. Finally got a fresh start in Utah, and boom, lost almost 100 grand. And here I am trying to make things work. So I'm like, how am I going to get through this year? Like this lease, because I'm not going to be here. The partners are like 15 minutes away and I wanted to do horrible things to them, but the Christ in me, I couldn't do it. So I got through it, but it was not pretty. There was many times, I mean, things I definitely regret, just wanting to end my life many times. No one knew it. I mean, I had all these almost 1 million followers on TikTok. Everyone thought, he's so happy and doing so well. And it's that perception it gives. And the whole time I'm going through this, my heart's just taking literally a physically beating from the anxiety, from all the confusion. And finally a year was up and I had a friend, she's on here, her and her husband, they were customers in Texas and I had no one to help me move. I didn't even know where I was moving. I just said, I'm loading a U-Haul and I'm driving to Florida. I just knew I wanted to be back in Florida. And so I was thinking trust me, I don't know if y'all have moved a lot, but when you have the entire country to choose from, it's hard to make a decision where you want to move, especially after you go through what I went through. Like you don't trust any decision you make. So I just said, I don't know where I'm going to move. I thought about it for a month. I was trying to figure it out. I'm going to drive to Florida and along the way, hopefully I'll think of something and we'll show up and see what happens. So Tiff, my friend, says, well, do you have help? And I'm like, nope. Nobody said, I don't have anybody to help me load this or, drive even. So she goes, well, I'll come down and help you. And so she came down. And I said, instead of flying back, why don't you just ride with me? I'll drop you off in Texas and then I'll go to Florida. And then, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So that way I have someone with me in case something happens, whatever. We get to Texas and I was getting absolutely drained by this U-Haul for like $700. And they own a FedEx company. So she's like, just drop the trailer and unload your stuff into our bay, and we'll get you hooked up with another trailer. And that way you're not having to pay all this crazy money, because back then everyone was traveling. So the rates were stupid. And so I knew the minute I dropped that trailer, you know how it goes. Yeah, take a night in our guest bedroom and just hang out, relax and catch up, see where you want to go. So, a night ended up turning into people needing orders and supplements, and I had to pull everything out. And next thing you know, I'm selling all these supplements, and I'm in there for like a week. And all of a sudden I have some heart problems. And the thing was, it wasn't a heart attack. It was, I put on 24 pounds of water in 48 hours, 2 days. 24 pounds of water below my midsection. So ladies, you guys probably relate the most. But guys, just imagine a 25-pound dumbbell carrying that around. And like, it's horrible. It's the worst feeling in the world. But I was in a tanning bed in Planet Fitness one morning, and I got up and I fainted. So for like 30 seconds, I fainted. And I woke up and I'm like, okay, something's wrong, right? So I wasn't getting blood and oxygen properly shuttled to my brain. So I went to the doctor. Doctor, like, my just PCP. I was just there, I think, like 2 days ago. That's why we knew the weight. And he's like, man, you're just here 2 days ago, and now you're having heart problems. I didn't even get to. So I paid the copay. I walk in, and he goes, all right, man. Well, it's good to see you. I got you a fast track at the ER. They're waiting for you. So I said, huh? He goes, man, you put on 24 pounds of water. Your heart's not, functioning right. And that's just way past my pay grade. So I said, oh, okay. Again, I don't know what this is. Like heart, I thought it was thyroid or something. So he's like, but don't worry, you don't have to wait. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, oh, the waits at the ERs? Oh, geez. 8 hours. He goes, but I got you fast tracked. So when you get there, just let them know. I'm like, all right. So, and again, it's really hard to breathe. Like, it's hard to walk. So I get over there and I get called right in, and I start doing their procedure, their blood, stuff. And I'm just talking to the ladies, like, no big deal. And, it blows me away because this is coming out more, but they just put you through all these tests. It's such an emergency. They don't explain any of it to you. Probably going to cost you maybe a left arm and the right leg. But I'm just going through these CT scans. I'm going through these scanners. I'm going through all this stuff. And I just remember being in the ER room, and after going through all that, the guy walks in. He's an arrogant little guy with his nursing whatever assistant, and Tiff, my friend, is sitting there, and he comes in. He shuts the TV off. All right, Mr. Clark. Well, you have severe heart failure, and it looks like some of the symptoms are related to COVID. And I rolled my eyes. I was in shock, but I looked at Tiff, and I said, sir, I'm not doing anything in regards to COVID. I do not have a temperature. I do not have a cough. We're not going this route. Okay. Oh, and he got livid. Well, no, sir, we have to do some tests to see. I said, you're not doing a test on me. Can you just drain the fluid? We'll get there. I'm like, do you know how long it takes to drain 24 pounds of water? Like 2 seconds. You could have gave me some Lasix through a pill, or you could have got, Lasix in me through an IV and had the water drained off of me so I could breathe. Because you can't breathe when you have that much water, being pushed against your lungs and stuff. So I'm sitting there being tortured with EKGs and everything on. And he goes, we'll be right back. He left me sitting there with Tiff, my friend, who's crying now because obviously heart failure is a big deal. We really didn't know what that meant. And, till we could really look into it more and hear about it. But he left it for over 2 hours, almost 3 hours there. And then all of a sudden, the nursing assistant, the young lady, walks in and takes the clipboard and drops it on my chest and says, "You're good to go, Mr. Clark." I said, "What?" They said, "Yeah, you went against our medical advice, so there's nothing we can do unless you want to, do the COVID test." And I said, "Oh," I said, "This is real, huh?" And I ripped off the EKGs. I said, "Let's go, Tiff." So I walked out.
How do these people live with themselves? I'm just going to add that in while you're talking, but go ahead.
Oh, the little prick couldn't come back, the doctor. But I sat there. They lost a lot of money. They're making $450 off every test.
Soul. That's what he lost.
$50 off his test, and then over $1,000 for the jab. That was their bonuses. So you guys can imagine. I leave and I go home. That I'm just ready. God. God, you're stacking this on me, man. Like, holy cow! I'm stuck in a place, Lubbock, Texas. Did not choose this place. It's a very nice town of people, but definitely not very pretty, not where I want to be. And I'm living in a guest room. Don't know where my family is. Don't know if they're even alive. Here I am. So, I was honestly just ready to go. I'm like, God, just end it. So the only thing I know to do is to go to the gym. Like, was I working out? No, I was sitting there. That's my headspace. So, and I always said, if I was going to die, I'd rather die in a bench than sitting somewhere on a couch or in someone's guest room as a guest. Right. So that night, I'm there and I'm like, I got to get in my car and go. Like, I can't die in my friend's house. And she said, "No, here's the deal. You're going to another ER in the morning with her husband, or you have to leave." And it was kind of like one of those things. I'm like, "Oh, okay, you're going to do that?" I said, "Well, here's the deal. If you pay for it, I'll go." I was kind of like joking. She's like, "Okay, we will." And I'm like, "Okay," because I said, I can't give these people my money anymore. The first ER was $50,000 to kick me out. Okay, so like I knew in my head these bills were going to be coming in like they're crazy. So there was one other hospital in Lubbock, and same thing. We go the next morning, same thing happened. Long story short, so it's 9 a.m. I leave. I have the whole day ahead of me. I can't get help. I can't breathe. My heart's working about 12% right now, and I was done. Like, it was the longest day of my life. And Tiff will tell you, she's in the chat, like that night, this night right here is when we really, like, I thought I was going to die. I couldn't breathe. And she was on her knees praying, crying, rubbing my shoulder. And, I thought that was the night I was going to go for sure. And like I said, I'd never had a relationship with God, but there was one shot left. So Lubbock has a very well-known heart hospital. Very well-known heart hospital. And the next day, that night, get this. This is where God intervened. I go to Planet Fitness, and I'm just sitting there because I don't want to, like, it's my headphones on. I'm not lifting any weights. I can barely move. I'm just there. I'm disgusting. I'm purple, water weight. And there's this kid, 18 years old. And he's like, "Hey, man, I've been following you on social media. And I've been listening to your story and your updates and stuff. And there's a doctor out in Florida that I thought maybe I'd just give you her number. I don't know if she can help or not, but she left the hospitals because of what you just went through." And I'm like, bro, like, you're an amazing guy. Like, thank you. But I just got kicked out of 2 hospitals. Like, what is someone in Florida going to do? So I didn't say it that way. Obviously I was like, "Well, thank you, man. Yeah. Let me have it," and put it in my phone. I'm sitting there and the Holy Spirit just starts to move. Like, better go make that call. So I said, "Okay, I'm going to my truck." It's like 10 p.m. I go to my truck, call. She says, her name was Dawn Aycock. So Dawn, if you ever see this, Dawn, I said, "Dawn, here's what I got. Here's what happened. Blah, 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 blah." And she's like, "Jordan, just calm down. Calm down." She said, "There's a Walgreens near you, right?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "Okay, what's the closest location?" I said, "This one right over here." She goes, all right. And then like 2 minutes later, she goes, okay, I just sent you in Lasix, a diuretic, or a beta blocker, a few other things that she said will get the water weight off of me and get me by long enough to go to another hospital. But she goes, I can only help you for a couple months because we're in a different state. And I said, okay. So I said, how much am I looking at here? Or how do I pay you? She said, you have a card, right? And yeah. She said, $35. I said, you just saved my life for $35. Like, holy cow. Like that whole situation, like this kid being there at that time, giving me that number. I mean, it's just mind boggling to me, but that's God. So anyways, long story short, I get in next day to this heart hospital. It wasn't that easy. They wouldn't accept me because I didn't have any symptoms. So I actually had to go pretty much kill myself on a treadmill, and then literally. So they said, we can't bring him in if he doesn't have symptoms. And my friends were like, well, what are the symptoms? A heart attack? Oh, yeah. So I pretty much like, there's no symptoms with heart failure. The water's off of me. They wouldn't accept me in the ER. So I had to go to a treadmill and get pretty much, I tried to like sprint to my heart failed. And then I had Tiff on speed dial to pick me up. And I just remember them carrying me in to the ER, and I got in and got admitted. They didn't pull anything. And do you have any questions right now? Because I have just a little bit left.
No.
Yeah, carry on.
Riveting.
I know. I feel like I'm annoying you right now. Sorry. It's a long story, but it's important. So I'm in that hospital room that first night. I get finally admitted. And, you know, they got the little TV, 15-inch TV. It's 9 o'clock at night. No, I don't know if my family's alive. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, man, this is not good. And I just remember breaking down. And I'm like, God, there is no way I've come this far. There's no way this is how my story ends. And I know the enemy, my heart was at 8%. And I know the enemy is so close and you think he has me. But I just broke down and I said, it's kind of like I picture God just sitting back here like a tag team wrestling match. Like, are you done yet? You done doing things your way? Not going very well, is it? And I just sat there. I said, just God, give me another chance. I will do everything moving forward to follow you, listen to you, and never blame you, because it's not you, it's the enemy. And everything I went through, it's always the enemy. But we blame God. And that night was the night I was saved. The next morning, I had an angiogram. I don't know if you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
An angiogram,
yes.
where they just go in and check everything out, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the only procedure I had. But the angiogram, I remember her putting the little thing, the anesthesia on me, and she goes, all right, Mr. Clark. And I was out, and it just seemed like gone forever and peace. And it was amazing. I came back, and the next, obviously, you know, after the procedure, and things changed mentally, the things you can't explain. And that's why I tell everybody I didn't change. Everyone's like, you changed, man. Like you're all into this Bible stuff now and God. I said, I didn't change. The devil lost. The devil had me captive from so many negative things that happened. And the way I controlled them is I wasn't close to Christ. I wasn't connected to the vine as the branch. And therefore I was leading my life into a state of death through anxiety, depression, everything that makes the heart fail.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realize right now. So I was saved in that bed. You know, they told me I had two options. It was a heart transplant. And that was it pretty much. And I said, well, I don't have $1.4 million or health insurance, that Obamacare thing, Medicare. Yeah, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And it's $1.4 million for a heart. And I said, sir, I think I'm going to have to go and invest my time into that church down the road here. So I remember he looked at me, the cardiologist, like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I said, yeah, pray and church, a lot of it. But I said, I'm also very well versed in what I need to do to get this thing going again. He goes, well, and then if you guys don't know this, the heart's the only muscle that we have that can't heal itself. The only one that we have, they say, that cannot heal itself. So literally, like, multiple doctors are telling me this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, I guess we're about to find out then. Because the way I look at it is it's a muscle, and being a trainer, okay, if we tear a bicep, do we just stop working out forever?
Right.
No, we have a rest period. We let it come back, and then we slowly build it up, providing it with the right nutrients and health, right? So I'm like, I know how to eat. I know how to do all this. And they put me on, and this is so important for listeners, 5 medications that literally for 2 months almost took my life. It was Entresto, Eliquis, a beta blocker. So those 2 I just mentioned first, those are all over your TVs. The heart miracle pill, Entresto, Eliquis. Guys, they lowered my blood pressure so much. Tiff, I totaled my vehicle almost totaled it twice, 2 wrecks. Don't remember either of them. Don't remember anything for a month. My blood pressure was so low. I was in a state of it was bad. So I would go in, and they didn't make me pay for these medications. It was a drug dealer. So I said, sir, these medications are $2,000 a month with insurance. I don't have insurance. How do I get them? He goes, oh, I got you. My cardiologist. I'm like, you got me for life? What do you mean? Well, we got some here, and I'm not going to be in Lubbock forever. Like, this makes no sense. But that's what they do. So they're giving me these medications for free, to take them after I leave the hospital. And I said, okay, I'll give them a shot. And after 2 months, after a month and a half, my heart was still at the same percentage on the medications. And I said, sir, let me do things my way, and let's hold off on these and see what happens. And he was, irate, this cardiologist, irate. And I said, hey, just let me give it a shot. So I went home, and for a month, I went to the gym, walked very slowly, lifted 2-pound, 5-pound weights, ate very healthy, and went back. And long story short, it just, without medications, went from 12%, 24%, 48%. And then eventually I walked in and I said, sir, I think our time has come, and we're going to go separate ways, and I hope to never see you again, but I wish you the best. And it was an eye opener for him. Like,
Wow.
Yeah. I have a couple of things I want to say. God works in mysterious ways too, because the ailments that we usually have, it's very obvious, right? Your heart was broken, right? Very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart was broken. Other people that have other things, right? Back problems, the weight of the world is on them, all these things that are very obvious, right? But what they don't tell you also, in addition to the wonderful things that you knew about how to take care of yourself with exercise and nutrition, and right, that missing piece that no doctor will ever discuss, number 1 is the mindset, and number 2, it's stored trauma. And we know that stored trauma is stored in the I'm not even sure I know how to say this correctly, the psoas muscles, which are down in the lower part of our torso. And why do you think the ancients did yoga and Tai Chi to open this up? Why do animals, after they are running for a long period of time, being chased in a fight or flight situation, why do they go somewhere quiet and they shutter it out? They're releasing. So you have people like us and the rest of the people in the world that have trauma throughout their lives, whether it's a loss, whether it's any kind of pain. It doesn't get released, and it's stored there, right? Because energy can't be created or destroyed. It just is. And they don't ever make you get to the source. And what they do is they give you all these petroleum-based horrible medications that destroy people and put the fear of God into people who aren't like you, who have the sense and who found that right answer with God. And that's how they get them. And I have a mother-in-law right now who's on, like, I don't even know, it's a basket full of medications, but her mindset is of that ilk. And there's nothing you could do sometimes, but really it's your mindset, your heart open to God. And that's what allowed you to heal yourself. It's such a beautiful story.
It's a beautiful story, Jordan. Yeah.
Thank you, Stu. No, it's guys, it's a lot, and there's a lot of moving parts to it. But more importantly, right now, guys, it's out of all that takeaway, just like you said, it's the health, and it starts with this. It starts with this. Everything is a emotion, right? We manifest things, and whatever we consume and how we control it is what our destiny becomes. And I say that because had I known God a little bit better, I could have controlled the things in the past 5 years differently to where the heart didn't take such a beating. And right now, you don't know it. Most people out here watching the chat or watching this down the road, you're going to your job, you're going home, you're in an argument with your spouse, you're in an argument with friends, you're in all this panic, anxiety mode, or maybe it's in just anxiety because you're shopping or something. All of it is taking a toll. And eventually, without the right health and the right faith, you're going to be hit pretty hard with something.
Yeah.
So that's what the Matrix does. But I know I have a few minutes here. I just wanted everyone to know that it like you said, the mind. Yeah. It's all a mindset. It is. Like when they told me I couldn't work out again. No. I'm going to work out again. I'm actually going to get certified. So leaving the hospitals 2 months later, I studied 6 months for the hardest exam in fitness. The exam is so hard. There's doctors that put on Google, it's harder than their doctorate.
Wow.
I didn't know what I was signing up for, but I knew I'm going to go for the top of the line certification, and I'm going to get it because they told me I couldn't. And that's the reason I was telling you I did it. And one thing people don't realize is the side effects of heart failure is short-term memory loss. There's many things, but to come out of the hospital and to have 6 months of studying, which I'm not good at before heart failure, it was just all God. It was all God. And anybody out there would do the same thing. And I know everyone's battling health issues. I know everyone's battling some kind of something in this matrix. We've been surrounded. I always say God's earth, Satan's playground, and that's coming to an end now. But everything out there is, whether it's the food chemicals, whether it's the air, whether it's the fluoride, whether it's whatever, we have to make the right decisions, because you either pay now, it's a little bit of pain and getting through discipline, or you pay later, and it's not worth it.
Well, I think we're all very grateful that you battle through that, you come out the other side, and you are here fighting this fight with us, because yes. Elisa and I have said a lot that I don't think there's one person in this awakening movement that hasn't suffered some sort of trauma in the past, that has engaged their spirituality, or looking to God, or awakenings. And
let's just remind everybody, Stu. Let's remind everybody as the next 7 months, guys. I cannot stress enough. Prepare for the deception. Prepare for your mind. There's a war for your soul. And the next 7 months, as they get to the midterms and they realize, man, I mean, they already know. I mean, they know they can't win. But when they realize that people are truly on, like, for example, Melania. I think Melania brought a few people from the left, was bringing perfect timing. And I think it grabbed people on the left. It's like, oh, hey, Melania, she's a designer, and let's go see it. And I think it maybe brought them closer to that independent. And that's where we just need a lot of people to be. We got plenty of people to win the election, obviously. But we need so many voters that it's hard for them to manipulate and, one, obviously show up to so many centers. And obviously we need people marking the right things on the ballot. But I think at that point in 7 months, it's going to be pretty hard to go the opposite way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that is an amazing place to finish, because I've got a little 3-minute outro video in the end that I've put on there for you, Jordan. I just want to say to people, if you can subscribe to our Patriots Across the Pond on Rumble, that would be amazing. We've lost so many channels. All our other channels are in the description below the Rumble video, but that's the main channel we're trying to build. And
can I show you guys?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I wanted to show you the Crypto Collective real fast, if you can share my screen.
Yeah.
So guys, you can go to my website, by the way, jordanclark.shop. It's on my below my name here, or
Yeah.
whatever.
By the
on my
way,
body.
Jordan, I have to
So
tell you, we see a lot of websites, and I was telling Stu, because we're very proud of our website, but your website is kick-ass. I love the way it's designed. It's I just love it.
This
I
is
love
just
what
a
you've
link
done.
tree. This
Just
is
look
just a link
everything.
tree.
No, but everything, the photo of you and the way that you have the different videos for people to see. And I think you've done a beautiful job. Whoever, if you designed it or someone else, it's really terrific.
Hey, it's literally a link tree. It's called Beacons AI. That's it. It's
Well,
links.
it looks
So
good.
no, you guys can get it for free. It's free. But yeah, no, thank you. But yeah, no, you get yourself one. It's great. It's easy. But no, anyway, so you guys go through here. All my socials are on here, but then at the top, this is the Crypto Collective. So if you guys are interested in learning the new ins and outs, I keep it very simple. I created this community for beginners to invest. How do you purchase coins and how do you secure them on a ledger wallet externally? And then that's really the whole goal. So this is the entire classroom. This is what I created. So you actually click on one and there's modules you have to go through and complete. Like there's a video with me explaining the module on each one. And then there's courses. So you have the history of money, terminology of crypto, introduction to the blockchain, mastering the different types of coins, paper to digital. I just made this one the other day about the Swift blockchain to the petrodollar, going from gold to Bitcoin. And then you get into the aspect of setting up your first investment. So I actually have a 15-minute video of walking you through step-by-step on a screen share, along with the different sections here on how to purchase the coin. And then most importantly, putting it securely onto a physical wallet externally as backup for your assets. And then I even help people with, we started helping going over like yielding and staking and yielding right here, the future of banking with crypto. And then Web3, if you guys don't know what that is, that's the new internet that's coming. We run on Web2 right now. And then obviously some other things like QFS, Nasara, Jasara. And then we have a incredible community of helpers who help for free. They don't charge. They won't let me pay them. So we have 832 members. All glory to God. And it's a lot of responsibility, but you'll see this homepage right here. Prayer request at the top, number one. And then this is like a Facebook feed of everyone just talking, dropping different links. The most important thing I'm trying to implement, guys, is this is on school.com up here. School is a huge platform where businesses, like I told you, you can make a community in here in regards to anything. But big businesses use it to train their new employees when they have hire-ons. So they have like little school modules set up and they make them complete them before they get brought on. So it's a very secure platform that is not on, social media, and there's no soliciting and no garbage and no, I do not allow any kind of disrespect or outside scamming whatsoever. So it's a safe place to come and try to learn this stuff. If you feel it's on your heart, we would love to have you. But I will get you guys in for free on me for sure. So
thank
do me a favor if you would, Stu, I need your email and I need your email as well, Elisa. And then I'll send you it'll send you a little link that you just sign up and it'll be a free link. So for having me on today.
That'd be wonderful. Sorry,
If
Stu.
anyone wants to contact us, it's contact@patriotsacrossthepond.com. And that's our new website, patriotsacrossthepond.com.
Yeah. And I just want to put something out there because I know you have to go and you have another show to do, Jordan, but we are also having an event in New York because we're really trying to put a push here in New York, which is, it's a tough place here with trying to wake people up. And so we have the Awakening Summit this spring, April, a couple of months away, April 25th and 26th. We've got some really great speakers coming in. We got Derek Johnson, and we have Dr. Jan Halper Hayes, Stu, just confirmed that she's coming, and bunch of other people. And we just want to put an invitation out if that is any way on your ability to get here. We've got Joe and Scott from Truth Stream coming in. Matt's coming in, Matt Geiger. So if you if you'd like to come, we'd love to have you on the speaker list. We could, chat off camera and see if your schedule permits or if this is something that you could do. But we're taking good care of our speakers. So I'll tell you more about that.
I was gonna say the hardest thing would just be getting there.
Yeah, well, we'll talk. We'll be in touch. I'll talk to you when we get off the podcast a little later this afternoon when you're done with your next show, and just see if it makes sense. Because one of the things, Stu's going to be there. We're going to be the MCs. We just are trying to also build as big a group as we can of alpha male. This state, this city, this area needs to see that there are men out there that are fighting for the cause, that are connected to God, that are, doing their part in such a big way. So I think you'd fit in like wonderfully with all these guys to be there on the panels and speak. So we'll chat about it, but I wanted to put it out there because we'd love to have you.
I would love it. Yeah, we'll talk. Be awesome.
Okay,
Thank you,
Jordan. All right, guys. Well, hey,
thank you so much.
Thank
to
you
your audience.
Sorry, thank you for everyone in the chat. Where we go, one we go, all people. And I've put a little video on the end as an outro. You know it. I am a soldier from Anon.
Yeah. Yes. All right, guys. God bless y'all. Thank you.
God bless you. See you soon.
Much love. Take care. Bye.
I am a soldier in the army of my God. The Lord Jesus Christ is my commanding officer. The Holy Bible is my code of conduct. Faith, prayer, and the Word are my weapons of warfare. I have been taught by the Holy Spirit, trained by experience, tried by adversity, and tested by fire. I am a volunteer in this army. I am enlisted for eternity. I will not get out, sell out, be talked out, or pushed out. I am a soldier. I am not a baby. I do not need to be pampered, petted, primed up, pumped up, picked up, or pepped up. Because I am a soldier. No one has to call me, remind me, write me, visit me, entice me, or lure me, because I am a soldier. No one has to send me flowers, gifts, food, cards, candy, or give me handouts. I do not need to be cuddled, cradled, cared for, or catered to. I am committed. I am a soldier. I cannot be discouraged enough to turn me aside. I cannot lose enough to cause me to quit. I will win. I am more than a conqueror. I will always triumph. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthen me. Devils cannot defeat me. People cannot disillusion me. Weather cannot weary me. Sickness cannot stop me. Battles cannot beat me. Money cannot buy me. Governments cannot silence me. And hell cannot handle me. I am a soldier. Even death cannot destroy me. For when my commander calls me from this battlefield, he will promote me to captain and then allow me to rule with him. I am a soldier in the army. I am marching. I am claiming victory. I will not give up. I will not turn around. I am a soldier